Up with KREM begins now.
Right now on Up with KREM, we're talking one of the coolest mornings we've seen in some time, but temperatures are on the rise later today. We're back in the 90s.
Crime is up in Washington, but not all crime is seeing a spike. We're breaking down the data to see what type of crimes are up and which ones are down.
Plus, a family in Western Washington is speaking out after a burglar ransacked their home in an unusual way.
Good morning. So glad to have you here with us today. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Dana Marie McNichol. So here is a current look at the wildfires burning in our state right now. Behind me is a map available on the DNR website.
Yeah, it really breaks things down really nicely for you. You can find it on the DNR's website. I want to point a couple of things out to you over here in Spokane County. Obviously, we have the Andrews fire. You can click on these various fires and it'll tell you some information about it. It'll tell you when this fire started. This one started 3 days ago. Right now, the Andrews fire has been downgraded to 232 acres, and it'll also tell you the cause, which is unknown right now. Now let's move on over to the central part of the state in Wenatchee. We'll take a look at the Batterman Road fire. It started 4 days ago, currently sitting at just over 14,000 acres, and again, we don't know the cause of that fire. So we do want to also check in on the wildfires closest to our area, the Andrews fire, of course.
Well, here is a live look at the fires burning between Airway Heights and Cheney right now. The Andrews fire is burning 232 acres. Tim, you just mentioned that. A great resource right behind us. That's down from 300 acres just a couple of days ago. It is also now 30% contained.
All level 3 evacuations are lifted and now level 2 evacuations, which means be ready to leave at a moment's notice. All previous level 2 evacuations are now level 1 evacuations, which means just to be aware and start preparing in case you need to evacuate.
The Red Cross evacuation shelter at Medical Lake High School closed Tuesday night as of 8 o'clock due to lack of use, but will still be open on a case-to-case basis. The fairgrounds will remain open for livestock as well. Crews are focused on containment in the West Plains.
At 6:31, we want to get a check outside right now. Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo in the Weather Center for us. Jeremy, today a little bit cooler today. It feels nice. Maybe open up the windows if it's a little stuffy inside, because it feels great.
Yeah, you got another couple hours to do so with how cool our temperatures are right now. And that cool weather is welcome relief. It's actually been all the way back since the third week in June that we've seen temperatures in the 50s to start the day. And that's where we are in Spokane, 59 degrees. That was as cold as we got back on June 21st, early in the morning. 64 in Coeur d'Alene, 57 in Sandpoint, and temps in the 60s in Moses Lake and Wenatchee. It's clear overhead. That helped temperatures to drop as wind calmed down overnight. But enjoy this while you can. This 59 does not last long. Once again, temps are on the rise. We're shooting for 90 degrees later on this afternoon. And if we hit 90, that ties the record for most 90-degree days in a row. And in the days to come, temperatures soar well into the 90s and even up close to 100 degrees. So if today we hit 90, that record falls and we just wind up shattering it in the next week as temperatures stay well above where they should be this time of year.
A new report shows crime is up in Washington.
Specifically, officers are seeing an increase in violent crime statewide. This morning, Brandon T. Jones joining us in the newsroom now with a closer look at the report and crime specific to our area. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning, Tim, Dana Marie. Crimes are on the rise and fewer officers are on the streets. Those are the two big headlines out of a new report by the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs. The association compiled data from 233 different agencies, and the conclusion is that overall crime is up in Washington state. However, reading the report, it says crimes against people, society, and violent crimes all decreased between 3 and 16%. But it highlights significant spikes in certain crimes. The report says in 2020, murders increased about 47%, manslaughter increased 100%, fraud increased 131%, likely due to pandemic-related unemployment fraud. And it says drug incidents decreased about 23%. According to the latest crime report from Spokane Police, violent crimes are up by 11% compared to this time last year. Arson crimes are also up by 16%, but overall property crime is down. The statewide report is designed to give residents and elected officials information about crime in their communities, but it also shared a pretty surprising statistic. The association says Washington ranks last when it comes to the number of law enforcement officers compared to other states. This graph featured in one of the last pages of the report shows a steep decline in officers statewide in just the past year. In the newsroom, I'm Brandon T. Jones.
It's time for your morning rush. More news in less time.
Since July 1st, the Spokane County Medical Examiner's Office has identified 17 heat wave related deaths in Spokane County. The deaths range in age from 26 to 84. 8 were women and 9 were men. Most were found alone in houses or apartments without air conditioning. Some were found in buildings where other people were also suffering from heat-related illnesses. The ME's office said many of the people who died had underlying health conditions.
In Brown's Edition, a fire forced several people to leave their apartments when a fire broke out around 1 o'clock on Wednesday. The fire was in the building next door to the Elk. The building suffered extensive damage. There was no damage to the Elk. The Red Cross was brought in. Right now, we don't know the cause of the fire.
Chad Daybell will not be charged in the death of Lori Vallow's 4th husband. Last week, an Arizona grand jury indicted Lori Vallow in connection with the death of Charles Vallow. But Lori's 5th and current husband, Chad Daybell, will not be prosecuted. Lori Vallow's children, Joshua J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, were reported missing from Rexburg, Idaho. Both Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow are charged with murder and conspiracy in Idaho in connection with the deaths of their children, as well as Chad's former wife, Tammy Daybell.
A family in Seattle is shaken after a burglar broke into their Covington home and got a little too comfortable. The family was sleeping when they heard someone downstairs. A man then attempted to enter the main bedroom where Amy Paget and her husband were sleeping. They chased the man down the stairs, but before leaving the house, he had one request.
The individual then kind of turned around and got to the front door, asked if he could get his shoes. At which point my husband informed him, no, he really needed to leave our home.
Yeah, that's a big no. Just leave. After the man left, the family actually discovered he'd actually made an Eggo waffle in their kitchen. Also left a bit of a mess in their bathroom, you could see there. Police tracked the man down and found he still had the family's car keys and hundreds of dollars in cash on him. Yeah, what?
Extremely violating.
Yeah, come on, man. Dude, get out of there. That's your morning rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media.
And still ahead this morning, new results for COVID-19 variants, plus how much farther until Washington reaches its vaccination goal of 70%. Coming up, 3 things you need to know about the coronavirus today.
And today is all about whether or not we hit 90 degrees. It'd be nice not to. It would also be nice to hit it so we could add another stat from our ongoing heat wave to the record books. We'll talk your odds coming up after the break.